Good morning. Just confirm me, am I audible to you and the PPT is visible? Just confirm me, am I audible and the PPT is visible? Make sure that everything is perfect from my side. Okay. Let's wait for 1 minute. If anybody could join, can join. Good morning. Okay. In from in yesterday's class, we have completed thoroughly an arthropoda. Okay, we have completed arthropoda in the last class. In today's class, we are going to deal with the torsion and detorsion and pearl formation and pearl industry. Okay, the most important topic. And uh, just tell me, torsion and detorsion seen in which class under the phylum Mollusca? Torsion and detorsion seen in which class under the phylum Mollusca? Very good. Gastropods. Clear? And the example? Any examples? Example? Very good. Snail. And make sure whether you know the scientific name of snail. Okay, okay. Without any delay, we'll get into the topic. See, this torsion and detorsion, it is exclusively seen in the mollusca, particularly the class gastropods. The perfect example for gastropod is snail. Okay, this torsion and detorsion is a mechanism. What is it? This torsion and detorsion is a process. Okay, and what is this process? Torsion is nothing but a twisting, and this is happening when the organism in the larval stage. Okay, due to some of the changes happening in their larval stage, the exact location of those particular important structures has been changed when it is converted into an adult. See, during their larval stage, what is their location of gut, what is the position of gills, and what is their position of all those visceral organs, everything in the posterior side during their larval stage. And during adult stage, every positions of those visceral organs has been changed in the anterior region. This twisting, this twisting is said to be as the torsion. Okay, and how those visceropalladium have been changing their structure by rotating anti-clockwise through 180 degree. This statement I have explained very clearly in yesterday's class, right? So initially from its initial position, so that the mantle cavity with its pallial complex, that is nothing but all these things, gills, gut, these are all the mantle cavity with all those, this is the pallial complex. All these things which is present in the posterior region, see, this will be going anteriorly. Initially, it is in here. This is the exact location, and this is the location, and anti-clockwise direction, that to 180 degree. So all the important structures which is present in the posterior end will be shifted towards the anterior end. Clear? And all these things will brought in front of the body in case of adult. Okay, fine. Now, what is the exact location of this torsion? Okay, and where it is happening? See, in larval gastropods, only visceral mass undergoes a rotation. Okay, visceral mass is nothing but all the important organs. They, like we can say, the respiratory organs, the circulatory organs, a digestive organ, digestive tract. Okay, everything is said to be as a visceral mass, or the visceral organs undergo the rotation through 180 degrees. Okay, and whereas, see, this degree is very, very important. We know that this will be the straight line, this is a 0 degree, and if it goes like this, means this is a 90 degree, this is a 90 degree, and once again 90 degree, and this is 180 degree. So this straight line is said to be as the 180 degree. And here it is another 90 degree. So here we can say 270 degree. And once again, another 90 degree, this is said to be as the 360 degree. So one complete circle is said to be as the 360 degree and one straight line is said to be as the 180 degree. That is why here, see, this straight line is said to be as the, initially it was in this straight line. Okay, so after that it is undergoing an anti-clockwise rotation up to 180 degrees, so that all the important structures will become in front of the body in their adult stage. Okay, now see, another important point is all the visceral organs have been changing their location, but the head and the anus will be remain fixed. Okay, so you can see here, this is the larval stages, and this all these important structures has been present in the posterior region. And during the adult stage, all the visceral organs which is present in the posterior region will be changing their structure towards the anterior region. But what is unique here? Head and the foot region remains fixed in nature. And this is what said in this point. And actual site of torsion is neck region. Okay, actual site of torsion is neck region behind the head foot through which esophagus, rectum, aorta, visceral nerve loop, and shell muscles pass. These are all said to be as a visceral organs. Thus, the actual twisting involves the neck tissue and the structures along with this tissue. Clear? Now, torsion versus coiling. See, there will be the difference between torsion and coiling. Of course, torsion is shifting their position from posterior to the anterior. And coiling is the mechanism, or coiling is the process which takes place in the shell region. And torsion, it is not takes place in the shell region. It is takes place in the organs which is present inside the shell. What is the difference between these two? Coiling is a process which is happening in the shell. Okay, and distortion is a process where it is happening in the organs present inside the shell. There is a difference between these two. And torsion is the coiling of the shell, which starts even much before coiling, which means what? Coiling is one of the process where one of the process under the mechanism called torsion. Okay, coiling is one of the step, or we can say coiling is one of the step under the torsion. Torsion is a complete mechanism. Okay, coiling takes place in this shell, not according to the body of the animals which live inside the shell. But torsion is limited to certain parts of the body and it nowhere related to the general coiling of the shell. Up to this, everybody clear? Up to this, I think everybody will be clear. Now, this is the mechanism of coiling. Okay, see, initially, this is the cleft. There is a cleft. Cleft means there is a gap between the shell and the mantle for ventilating current, for respiration. Now, ancestral planospiral shell. This will be said as the ancestral planospiral shell. Now, see, this initially this will be the shell, and this is said to be as an apex region. See, the apex of the shell drawn out, making shell more compact. Because of the apex of the shell become more compact, and later the shell moves upward and posteriorly, which means what? This is an anterior region and this is the posterior region, and the shell little bit it moves upwards and little bit it moves towards the posterior region. Now the shell shifted over the body for better weight distribution. See, all those important structures will be present inside the shell. To protect those important organs, the shell plays a crucial role in case of protecting all the important internal organs. So, it makes a better weight distribution, a loss of gill, auricle, and kidney on compressed right side. See, everything will be on the right side. All those important things on the right side. So, the shell will be placed accordingly. Now, that's all about the coiling. And coming to the torsion. This is the lateral view of an organism or an animal or a snail. See, lateral view is nothing but a sidewards view. This is said to be as the lateral view. And this is said to be as the dorsal view. Okay. See, this will be the anus region and this is the shell, and in front of it, will have the mouth, and this is the foot region. It is in the ventral side. Okay, now see, initially this is the mantle cavity. You can say this is a mantle cavity, and how this folding from the posterior to the anterior region, and how it is coiling each other. See that. See, everything will be there, and later it will reach in the anterior region. See, this is the mouth. This is the anus. We know that the larval stages of mollusca, we can say that veliger larva. What is it? Veliger larva. Just make a note of it. Larval stages of the molluscan is veliger larva or the trochophore larva. See, the anus is in posterior region. See, in case of larval stages, the anus is in the posterior region. There is no mantle cavity seen here. No mantle cavity in case of veliger larva. Okay, now the shell rotates to an adult position. Viscera rotates 90-degree. Mantle cavity will be visible. See, as I said before, this is the 0 degree, and this will be said as the 90 degree. Okay, 90 degree. Like in the same way, this rotates up to 90 degree. Now, when it rotates the 90 degree, the mantle cavity now starts to develop. And what is the mantle cavity? This is said to be as the mantle cavity. Okay, when it reaches the 90 degree. Okay, now the anus and the mantle continue to rotate, and the mantle cavity expands. Again, this mantle cavity continues to rotate. This is clockwise direction. See, this is clockwise direction where the clocks moves. And this is anti-clockwise direction, which is opposite to the clock moves. Clear? Now, see, again, it is continued to moving. When it is continued to rotate, this mantle cavity little bit starts to expand. Okay, now again the anus rotated 180 degree, and the mantle epithelium reorganizes to enlarge the cavity. Again, when it reaches the 180 degree, again the mantle cavity will starts to emerge or will expand. Okay, now when the adult snail, see, all the mantle cavity will be located exactly in the anterior position. There is nothing is there in the posterior region. See, including anus. Don't when it comes to the question, if they ask mouth and the what I have mentioned here, head and the foot. Clear? Head and the foot region remains fixed. Even the anus will be moved towards the front position of the body. Clear? So you have to make a note of it. Head and foot, only the region called head and foot will be remain fixed. Even the anus will move in front of the body. Okay, when in the adult snail, all the head region, anus region, all the visceral organs, more importantly or more specifically, mantle cavity. Okay, why it is moving from the anterior to posterior region? Because it has lots of its significance. Okay, we'll discuss about that later. Now, if up to this, if you have any doubt, means you can raise a question. This is about a coiling, and which is happening only in the shell, and this is about torsion, which is happening in the internal organs, which is present inside the shell. Hope you are clear, right? Now, see, torsion is not merely an evolutionary hypothesis. You should not link this process to the evolutionary mechanism. Its occurrence can be seen in the embryogeny of the living organisms. Also, you have to know that it has been takes place only in the larval stage. Okay, and see how the question will be asked means what is torsion? Just take a note of it. What is torsion? And the second thing you have to remember is with this torsion will be why is occurring torsion. Wait, the significance of torsion will be discussed a little bit later. Just wait, just understand the mechanism. If you have any confusion with respect to this mechanism, just tell me. Okay, see what are all the questions is there to possible to ask means torsion and detorsion will be takes place in which phylum and which class. This is the first thing you have to keep in mind. And the second thing is what is happening with respect to this torsion, and what is the exact location, that is the neck region, and how much degree it will be rotating, and after rotating what are all the regions remains fixed before torsion and after torsion. Okay, these things are important. And the torsion and the coiling will be takes place in what? Coiling is takes place in shell, and torsion will be takes place in the organs that is present inside the shell. Now, and the next thing important, what are all the positions what are all the positions of those particular organs which is present before torsion and after the torsion? Okay, see, larva is quite symmetrical. Symmetrical means what? Before torsion, if we cut that particular organism, we can get two equal halves. That is symmetrical. Okay, the mantle cavity faces backwards and downwards. See, the mantle cavity, initially it is in the backward and the downwards. That is what explaining here. Alimentary canal is straight. See, initially it was in the straight. Alimentary canal is straight. Alimentary canal means what? A digestive tract. Okay. Now, anus opens posteriorly in the middle line. Anal will be present in here in the posterior region. Now, a ventral flexure of the body results in looping of alimentary canal and the approximation of mouth and anus. After some time, it tends to rotate along with the mantle cavity, and after it is going to move 180-degree. Okay, the shell and the visceral mass originally saucer shaped, a cup shaped, and become first cone shaped and later spirally coiled. Initially, it was in the shape of saucer, and later it is becoming a cone shape, and after that, it becomes coiling. It becomes coiled. Now, shell lies dorsally. Initially, cell lies. See, consider this as an organism. This is an upper side. Upper side is said to be as a dorsal. Initially, the shell will lies in the dorsal side and forms a coil on the anterior side. See, just to make a note of it, okay? See, initially the shell will lies in the dorsal side. You know that dorsal means upper part of the body and forms a coil towards the head region, that is anterior side. Such a shell, it is said to be as exogastric. Okay, what is exogastric means? When the shell lies dorsally and in the anterior side means, then that particular shell, it is said to be as exogastric. When ventral flexure, it is followed by a lateral torsion so that the dorsal or exogastric shell becomes ventral and endogastric, which means what? The shell, initially the shell was in the dorsal side and the dorsal region and in the anterior side. Such type of cell is called dorsal or exogastric. And after the ventral flexure, see, the shell will move towards the ventral side and to the posterior region. This type of shell is said to be as the endogastric. You should want to make the difference between what is exogastric and what is endogastric. Clear? Now, lateral torsion is probably due to the arrest of growth on one side and active extension on the other. See, initially where the shell will be present. The shell will be dominating at one particular side. So this will be said as the active side. The other side of the animal where the cell is absent, this is said to be as an inactive stage. Where the shell will be developed means where it is being active. Okay, see, lateral torsion is probably due to the arrest of growth on one side and active extension on the other. Generally, the growth of right side becomes retarded so that the mantle cavity and the pallial complex gradually passes around to the right side where the shell is present, where all those important structures will be easily protected if the shell is present there. These are all the protection mechanisms. Why torsion is occurring and why all the mantle cavity will be moving towards the right side, everything will be their own for protection mechanism. Okay, now, but the whole process completes in 2 or 3 minutes. Okay, so that it cannot be regarded to the differential growth. On the contrary, it is due to the muscular contractions. So it is a simple process. We are exaggerating torsion is this, torsion is that, like that. Okay, there is no exaggeration. Torsion is simply a muscular contractions. Okay, where all those important organisms, or sorry, all those important structures or organs will be protected under the shell. If you find the snail, if it is find a human walking on that particular side, or if the human touches the snail, immediately all the softer parts will be hide under the shell. Okay, why it is happening? That is nothing but a torsion. Clear? Fine. No. Now, why torsion is important? A little bit a myth is a doubt is cleared by me. Okay, why torsion is important will be explained by me now. First thing, the thing opened here is torsion is nothing but the muscular contractions. Okay, good. Now, actual mechanism of torsion is supposed to be the asymmetrical position. See, initially, before torsion, what we can say, the animal is symmetrical. Now, actual mechanism of torsion is supposed to be asymmetrical position and full of the larval retractor muscles running from the velar lobes to the shell. They are present only at the right side, there being no related muscles on the left side. Only right side will become active. So, as I said before, this will be nothing but a muscular contraction. This contraction where it has been taking in the retractor muscles of the larva. This contraction of this particular retractor muscles brings the, okay, brings the rotation or the torsion. Okay, what is this bringing? Just listen to this point. Contraction or the larval retract of the larval retractor muscle. See, torsion is nothing but a, see, let me explain you what is symmetrical and asymmetrical. See, in the larval stage, we will say that here there are two lobes and mouth is here, anus will be here. Okay, if we cut here means two equal halves, we can get like that, right? We can get, okay, we can get two equal parts. Now, if we cut here means, is there any possibility of this particular structure? Is there any structure like this here? We are not getting. Okay, again, the mantle cavity is present here but not here. So this if we can say this as an asymmetrical. Okay, where we can get an equal half, so we can set them as a symmetrical. Okay, there is a particular plane where we can cut an organism, and as a result of those process, we can get a two equal halves. Now, when we cut here, there is something here in the right side, but there is nothing, no structure can be found in the left side. Okay, these are all a difference between the symmetrical and asymmetrical. What we can say is, before torsion, the animal is symmetrical, and after torsion, do we find anything similar from this side and this side? No. Okay, there is an no similarity. That is absence of symmetry. That is what asymmetry. Clear? Now, okay. We know that a torsion, again a muscular contraction. Okay, now contraction of which muscles? Retractor muscles in the larva. Okay, brings about the rotation. So now what brings the rotation? That will be the question. Okay, what brings the rotation? Retraction, contraction of the metamerical. Metamerism means segments. Metameric segmentation that has been predominantly seen in the phylum Annelids. Metamerism. Metamerism means a segment. Okay, there is no connection between this term and this particular topic, right? But anyhow, metamerism is a segment. Clear? Okay, now contraction, again a muscular contraction. A torsion is nothing but a muscular contraction. What type of muscles is that? Retractor muscles which is present in the larva. Okay, by contracting these muscles, this rotation will be possible. This rotation will be possible only because of this particular contraction of retractor muscles. See now, only a narrow neck of the larva is actually tested. We know that the site of torsion is nothing but the neck region. That is what explaining here. And consequently, everything between the head and the anus undergoes an anti-clockwise rotation or the torsion through an angle of 180 degree or on the vertical axis passing in a dorso-ventral direction. What are all the things I have mentioned about? The same thing will be repeating here. See, we know that head and anus, what are all the structures between? See, digestive tract starts from the mouth region to the anus region, right? So all the structures between these will be undergoing this particular rotation. Clear? Now, and now what are all the things they are explaining about the torsion? See, let us dig deep a little bit. Thomson, after careful study, recognizes 5 ways in which torsion can be brought about. Okay, and what are all the 5 ways mean? A complete or 180 rotation achieved by the muscle contraction alone. Okay, this complete rotation is only under the control of muscles. Okay, so the question can also be asked here. Just take a note of it. It's okay, it's okay. Asking any doubts, I don't hesitate to answer any doubts. Okay, I'll give time. Okay, you can post your doubts on that particular time. Okay, fine. Okay. Asking doubts, I won't discourage asking doubts, even it is silly. Okay, fine. Okay, complete rotation. See, 180-degree rotation. What Thompson is saying is a complete rotation of 180 degree will be under the control of muscles. That too, a contraction of muscles alone. See, the question can be asked in your examination. Let me ask you that question. The phylum Mollusca have a well-developed muscular system. Phylum Mollusca will have a well-developed muscular system. Whether the statement is true or false, just tell me whether it is true or false. Okay. What about others? The statement is true. Why? Because muscles plays an important role in case of torsion. So there will be no question from torsion. There will be no question from the characters and classification, but they are asking about the muscular system. Again, this will be the character anyhow. But I'm saying if you know about how torsion is happening, you can easily answer those questions. Okay, these are all interlinked. Okay, we know that the only thing going to help to occur this process called torsion is contraction of muscles. If they state that question, whether the muscular system is well developed or not, wait, you have to think about the torsion. This is what a critical analysis of the question. Okay, you have to develop that intelligence. Okay, fine. Alone, it is known only for the acme, okay, or Gastropoda, and this particular order, what it is saying, the torsion, it is happening only under the control of muscles. Okay, and this 180 degree will be achieved in 2 stages. As I said before, see, initially straight away it is not happening into a 180 degree. Initially it is transforming a 90 degree. Initially what it is happening, it is twisting around 90 degree, and later it will twist around the 180 degree. The same thing will be explained here. See, 180 rotation will be achieved in 2 stages. First 90 movement. First 90-degree movement is done by the contraction of larval retractor muscles. First 90-degree movement will be occurring completely under the control of muscles, contraction of retractor muscles. And later, a slower 90-degree rotation by the differential growth. What it is? A differential growth. It is the part of the growth of that particular animal. It is a commonest mechanism which is known today, and that example is in case of a archaeogastropoda. See, in case of archaeogastropoda, a complete 180 rotation is under the control of muscles. Okay, in case of haliotes and patella, This 180 rotation, we can classify them into two stages. And first 90-degree will be controlled by the muscles, and second will be the considered as a differential growth mechanism. Okay, and in case of vivapara, okay, in case of vivapara, this complete 180-degree rotation will be considered as a growth process alone, differential growth process. Okay, and this rotation by the differential growth process with anus coming to a position appropriate to the adult stage. Example, aphasia. See what they are saying here means, in case of aplasia, again it is happening by the differential growth process. It is said to be as a differential growth process. So here also a complete rotation will be under the control of, or we can consider them as a differential growth. Okay, with anus coming to the position to an adult stage, which means to an anterior stage in the adult. Torsion no longer recognizable as a movement of visceropallium, the organs in the post-torsional position from their first appearance. In case of adalaria. In case of adalaria, what they are considered as this is not a movement of the visceropallium, the organs in the post-torsional position from their first appearance. Okay, this is not having any connection in case of Thomson's view. See, you just remember all those first points. Now, what are all the effects of torsion? Torsion is a fundamental feature of the gastropods. Okay, what is it? It is a basic phenomenon. It is a basic process undergoing by the gastropods and represent their greatest departure from the ancestral muscular plant. Represents the greatest departure from the ancestral muscular plant. See, peculiarities of the organization of gastropods due to torsion. It was first realized by Spengel, so this question can be asked. This process of torsion has been identified by the Spengel. Just have a note of it. Now, we are going to see each and every process under the torsion. First thing, a displacement of mantle cavity. What is it? A displacement of mantle cavity. The mantle cavity, primitively, it is in posterior position. Just take a note of it, mantle, before torsion. Okay, just put a headline, before torsion, and you have to write mantle cavity hyphen, it is initially in a posterior position. Okay, see, this is a mantle cavity. This is an anterior region where the mouth we can see, or the head region. And this is the posterior region where the posterior, and then we know that tail or foot. Initially, the mantle cavity will be in the posterior position. Okay, now increase in length of the ventral foot. See, this is the foot. Increase in length of the ventral foot, which is primitively very short. Initially, it was short. When it tries to undergo the torsion process, the ventral foot tends to enlarge. Remove the mantle cavity. Because of this enlargement of the foot, see, because of the enlargement of this foot region, the mantle cavity is tends to remove the mantle cavity and the pallial complex away from the head region. What is it happening here? See, initially mantle cavity was in the posterior position. Because of the enlargement of the foot region, the cavity will be mantle cavity will and the pallial complex moving away from the head. Now, after torsion, the mantle cavity opens just behind the head and its associated parts and shifted forwards. See, increase in length of the foot will make this mantle cavity. Because of the enlargement of the foot, this mantle cavity are not present in the head. Okay, or not. See, generally this mantle cavity has to be present in the head region only, but because of the movement increase in size of this particular ventral foot, the mantle cavity cannot place in the head region or towards the anterior region. As a result of torsion, this mantle cavity opens just behind the head because of the anti-clockwise 180-degree rotation due to the muscular contraction. Okay, and all other important parts seen initially in the posterior position as a result of this torsion, all the important structures will be moved towards the anterior region. And after torsion, the mantle cavity is in anterior position. Exactly. See, this is what I have explained in the picture. See, this is the mouth region. This is the anus region, and before that, below that, we can see the mantle cavity, and this we know that foot region. In all other phases, before torsion, after torsion, the head and foot will be remains fixed. Okay, and initially it is now the mantle cavity. See, initially it is present in the posterior region. As a result of a torsion, initially it starts to rotate along with the anus region. Now, after torsion, it is present in the anterior region. Clear? This is the dorsal view, and the lateral view is, see, this is the mouth, and this is the anus, this is the mantle cavity, this is the anterior region end, and this is the posterior end. Okay, now the torsion process is beginning. Okay, now the 180 rotation will be starting in an anti-clockwise direction. Now see the mouth region, the anus is present initially in the posterior region. It is as a result of torsion, everything this anus and the mantle cavity are in the anterior region after torsion. Any doubts? If you have any doubts, means just post it. Or we can move to the next slide. Now after the twisting has been happened, see this relative positions are changing before torsion. This will be your question. Before torsion, anus, tenidia, renal orifices pointed backwards, which means what? In the posterior region, and the auricles lies behind the ventricle. Auricle lies behind the ventricle. In after torsion, anus, tenidia, and renal orifices projects forward in the anterior position, or the auricles lies in front of the ventricle. This is what happening here. These are all the exact locations of the position before torsion and the after torsion. Okay. These points are not even necessary. If you remember this point, it is sufficient. Now, looping of alimentary canal. We are saying this torsion will be occurring along the length from the mouth to the anus region. Okay, entire alimentary canal or the digestive tract will be shifting their position. And how they are shifting? See, initially it is in straight line. Okay, later it forms a loop. See, this is the loop. This is the loop. Okay, it is forming the loop, and this digestive tract, which is originally straight from the mouth to anus, it is thrown into a loop. What is before torsion? What we can expect? The question is, before torsion this digestive tract was straight from the mouth to the anus. Clear? And after torsion it will become the digestive tract which was in the loop, which forms the loop. Clear? Chiastoneury. This is the term. It is represents the nervous system. Okay, chiastoneury. A long uncoiled visceral nerve connectives become twisted. Okay, chiastoneury means the nervous system. Initially, it was a long uncoiled nerves. Everything will be twisted as a result of torsion. Right connector with its ganglia passes over the intestine to become supraintestinal, while left connector passing underneath the intestine to become infraintestinal. What is it is? A right connector with its ganglia passes over the intestine is supraintestinal. Left is infraintestinal. Okay, this is what a location of the nervous system. Now, endogastric coil. You should want to remember what is endogastric and what is exogastric. What is endogastric and exogastric? See, coil of visceral sac or the shell, which was primitively was dorsal exogastric. I have said no, coiling is one of the steps which is happening in the torsion. Okay, initially the shell, will be present in the dorsal and in the anterior region. Okay, dorsal and anterior means then that particular shell is said to be as an exogastric. Okay, just have a note of it. Okay, see, dorsal anterior means that particular shell is said to be as exogastric. In case the coil or the shell will be in the ventral, yeah, endogastric torsion or endogastric or ventral, it is followed by a, we can say, ventral flexure. Okay, now ventral means a ventral and posterior. If the shell is present in the ventral region and the posterior side, then we can call them as a endogastric torsion. Clear? Fine. Now, loss of symmetry and atrophy. See, after torsion, definitely you have to remember that after torsion, the coil will be endogastric coil, which is they are present in the ventral side and the posterior region. That is said to be as endogastric. But before torsion, it was present in the dorsal side and in the anterior region. This is what a difference between exogastric and endogastric. Clear? Loss of symmetry and atrophy. Okay, loss of symmetry and atrophy. Anus is displaced towards a right side of the pallial cavity. Okay, nothing but a mantle cavity. See, anus displaced towards the right side. See, initially it was in the straight line. Now it is displacing towards the right side. Okay, that is what I'm mentioning here. Displaces towards the right side of the pallial cavity so that the original symmetry of the organization disappears. See, the same thing I have explained you before. Initially, it was in the straight line. This is what a symmetry. It has a perfect symmetry. The left and the right will be exactly similar if we cut the organism at a particular plane. Okay, if we cut this at this particular point, we can get two equal halves. Then this rotation will be happen, and as a result of torsion, if we cut the same individual, the same thing will not be happening. The same, what are all the things which is present in the left side, the same thing will not present in the right side. So obviously it loses its symmetry. Okay, this is what I mean. This is what you have asked. No, the same. This is the reason. Now, another characteristic features involving asymmetry is reduction or atrophy of paired parts primitively left or geographically right side. See, reduction of atrophy. Atrophy is nothing but initially what are all the organs present in the left side, it is not present in the right side as a result of torsion. See, initially, here one pairs of kidney will be present, here one pairs of kidney will be present, here also, but as a result of torsion, everything both will be prefers to locate on the same position. This is what a reduction or the atrophy of the paired parts of primitively left or graphically right side. Okay, loss of symmetry and the atrophy. Just remember, the same thing will not be the position, the exact location or position before torsion will be completely changed as a result of torsion. See, initially this is the out region. This is the inner region where everything will be get inside and where everything will be go outside. This is the place initially. This is the inside and this is also inside and this is an outlet. Okay, but as a result of torsion, the inside will be at the same side and the outside will be on the different side. Okay, there is initially here one inlet and here one inlet, only one outlet for both inlet. But after the result, then both inside will be prefers to locate in the same position. This is what a reduction or atrophy. Clear? Now, in the primitive archaeogastropoda or diatocardia, maximum symmetry is preserved by retaining two gills, two auricles, two kidney, but the right kidney serves as the gonoduct. See, all the locations will be compromised after torsion. In more specialized mesogastropoda or monotocardia, this atrophy, right? Wait, let me explain you. In more specialized mesogastropoda or monocardia, tenidium, auricle, osphradium, hypobranchial gland, kidney of the topographically right side disappears in the dextral forms, but reverse process occurs in the sinistral forms. Remaining gill may bear one row of filaments. See, let me explain you here. There is nothing to confuse. Just be calm and erase everything what I have said previous and listen me without any notion, without any preconceived notion. Okay. See, initially the mouth will be there, anus will be there, and what are all the organs? See, consider as a kidney. Okay, this is not, you should not take this as a see, this will be the mantle cavity, or we can say this as a mantle cavity, or we can say this one auricle is present here, one auricle is present here, one gill is present here, inlet and the inlet, and this will be the outlet. Okay, inlet, inlet, this is an outlet. Consider only this particular respiration process. Here one inlet, here one inlet, and this one will be an outlet. Okay, see, this is what in the adult stage, during their larval stage. Now they are undergoing a twisting or a torsion, okay, along with the mantle cavity. Now 180-degree will be completing and the digestive tract will form a loop. Okay, now what is happening here means the both the inlet will be located in the left side and there is no inlet will be present in the right side. Okay, now one outlet will be present in this direction. This is what a loss of atrophy, loss of symmetry. Understood? See, what are all the things which is occurring in pairs initially as a result of torsion, there is no such a pairs will be exhibited. Okay, see, and the same pair will be in the same location, same side. Initially, one was in the left side and one was in the right side. But as a result of torsion, both will be preferred to live in the prefer to locate in the left direction or the left side. This is what allows of atrophy. If you read this again, means we come into a conclusion. Clear? Hope you are getting clear. And what are all the significance of torsion in case of gastropods? Just tell me if you have any doubts, means I'll explain you once again. Clear? Okay. Significance of torsion. Why torsion is happening? What are all the importance of such a process? First thing, Gadsden's view. Okay, according to him, according to Gadsden, torsion first occurred as a larval mutation of advantage to the larva adapted to pelagic life, but of a little direct use to an adult. See, the lifestyle of larva as well as the adult was completely different. The larva will adopt some of the structures, will adopt some of the characteristics, what it is favorable to the larval stages. Okay, the adult will with the adult will tend to accommodate or they are going to adopt what it is favorable to them. Okay, see, larval stages is prefers to live in the pelagic life, but of little direct use to the adult. See, larva is preferred to live in the prefer to live as a pelagic life. Okay, in case of this adult, they are straight away they are going to use whatever they want. Okay, so what you have to understand from this point means the mechanism or the life cycle prefers by the larval stage is completely different from the adult. That is what a first significance. Now, before torsion, the untwisted swimming larva fell an easy victim to its predators. See, yesterday one person asked a doubt. What is the important significance of the torsion? The most important point is before torsion. Initially, where the digestive tract is at the straight line, they fell an easy victim to the predators. Okay, they are very, very, very vulnerable because of the posterior mantle cavity to receive a delicate head and the venom only after the food was already inside. They can't, because of the mantle cavity which is present in the posterior side, they can't sense any predators will be present in front of the organism. See, consider this as a snake. Okay, consider this as the snail. Okay, if the mantle cavity is present here means if there is anything come in front of the animal, this organism cannot sense this as a danger. Okay, only because the after torsion the mantle cavity becomes anterior. After torsion the anterior cavity will be present in the anterior region, so that the sensitive parts, that is head and the velum, could withdraw first, followed by the foot. The sensitive part means what? This mantle cavity is the head and velum will be present in anterior region, so it is sensitive to those external dangers, so it can turn their direction back in the safe area. Everybody clear with this point? Okay, if all the sensitive organs, if it is present in the anterior region, they can't sense any danger if they can find in the front of the bones where they move forwards. See, generally the animal will move forwards. This is the anterior region, this is the tail region. Okay, generally the animal will move forward. What is the purpose of a sensitive organ? Will be what is the purpose of generally a sensitive organ? Means it has to sense something. It has to sense the food, it has to sense the enemy, everything. What these are all the functions of sensory organs. If all the sensory organs will be present in the posterior region, then what is the purpose of this presence of the sensory organs? That is why the animal will send the sensory organs like mantle cavity, velum, all these things to the anterior region. This is the greatest importance of the torsion. Clear? Keep on interacting me so that it is easy for me to understand that you are okay with this. Now, operculum, good. Fine. Operculum sealed the aperture. The cilia venom stopped beating so that the larva could fell to the sea bottom and avoid its enemy. So the larva will could fell to the sea bottom. That is said to be as a pelagic life. Okay, where the animals prefers to live at the very depth of the ocean. Why? Because to avoid its enemies. Okay, in the larval stages, but adult will not tends to be there is no necessity for the adult to live in the deep of the sea. Okay, because it has all this important structures. Now it has been in the anterior region. Clear? Now this is what about the Gavston's view. And what is the Morton's view is torsion promotes the stability in the adult. Okay, first thing is torsion promotes the stability by placing bulky mass of the animal near the substratum. Okay, so that the animal can be easily attached with the substrates. Which means what? See, during a rainy season, wherever you can see in their home, in your colleges or in your schools, see, this is the wall. Okay, the snail will be there, the gastropods will be attached to those snakes. We cannot find the animals, we can find only the shell. Okay, so only because all the internal organs will be present there. See, all the bulky mass of the animal near the substratum. This is an important mechanism followed by the gastropods. Do anyone see that the snail will be attached to the wall of the in any wall during the rainy season? The main reason is to promote the stability. The process of torsion is to promote the stability. Second thing, the mantle cavity containing gill. Okay, this we know that the mantle cavity contains all the important organs like gills. Was situated posteriorly. What is the purpose of gill generally? It has to it has to help in the respiration process. If the gill is present posterior region, when the animal moves in the upstream, if the gill is present here, the water flow and the current due to the movement of animal opposite. See, water will be moving like this, and the snail will be moving like this. They can't tolerate all this water current. The respiratory current enter in the mantle cavity from behind the animal. Obviously, where the gills will be present, there only the respiration will occur. After torsion, the mantle cavity now will be present in the anterior region from above the head. So all the three currents now flow in the same direction. Thus, the mantle cavity continuously with fresh clean water increases ventilation. So, because of change in structure, the animal can also easily respire. So to see, the animal finds very difficulty because of their location. Okay, so that they are moving their location to the different location just for their favorable condition for respiration. That is ventilation. So the first point is stability, and the second point is ventilation. And the third point is anteriorly placed chemoreceptive organs, which is called as ostradia. This will be your question. We are keep on telling sensory organs, sensory organs, sensory organs, and what is the name of that particular sensory organ is Australia. Also continuously sample the sediment in current water stream, and animal orients itself properly with the help of the sensory organs on the head. Once the shell is lost, the gill becomes exposed to the external currents. Hello, am I audible to you? Okay. Okay, fine. Sorry for the inconvenience. See now, once the shell is lost, the gills become exposed to the external currents, and their anterior position remains no advantage, so that the mantle cavity and the pallial complex shift back to their original posterior position. That is said to be as a detorsion. See, See, I have explained you that this is an important point. Just listen to me. Initially, the larval stages find that mantle cavity and visceral complex or its pallial complex has to move in the into the anterior position from the posterior region, and that we can say as an adult. In the adult, when the animal find the mantle cavity has lost its importance, again they go back to their original position. This is said to be as a detorsion. What is that? Changes occurring in the torsion or to a certain extent is reversible. So the question can be asked whether the process of torsion is reversible or not. And here is the answer. It is a reversible process. This reversion, it is said to be as the detorsion. It is a very characteristics of the whole group of Euthenura. Okay, and this euthenura is opposite to this particular chiastinuri. Okay, initially the nervous system is also long, and later after torsion it becomes twisted. And after torsion, that is detorsion, again the nervous system will be straight back to their original position, that is said to be as the euthenura. And as a result, the pallial complex travels back towards the posterior and along their again a right side. Tenidia point backwards, and auricles reach behind the ventricles, and visceral lobes becomes untwisted and symmetrical. Now, again, the animals will attain the symmetrical nature. What are all the things, what are all the process we have said in the torsion process? Everything will be reversed. That is said to be as a detorsion. Okay. Torsion must be disadvantageous to the adult snail. See, torsion will be disadvantageous to the adult snails, and many of them have undergone detorsion process. Clear? See, the larval stages undergo the torsion process so that in the adult also, all the important structures will be present in the anterior region. Now, this adult will again, if it finds this is not necessary for me to have to um, to locate this mantle cavity in the anterior position, means again they send back to their posterior position. So it is disadvantageous to the adult snails. Now, at least various degrees of torsion are met within neura. In the least specialized, ctenidia means it is again a sensory organ. Ctenidium, to find the predators, it's like a tentacles. Clear? Now, least opistobranchia and pulmonata, detorsion is not complete, so that the visceral roots remains partly twisted and the anus and the ctenidium are directed laterally instead of anteriorly. So, if it, see, just listen to me, in the larval stages, initially the digestive tract will be straight. Okay, and after the larval stages undergoes a torsion process, it undergoes an 180-degree anti-clockwise direction. Again, the adult finds this as a disadvantageous process. Again, the digestive tract will be at the similar position. When they undergoes a detorsion process, it is not necessary that all the structures again will attain the straight line. That will not be possible, or it is possible or it may not be possible, but it is not a compulsion. Again, the digestive tract has to be in the same place. It can be partly twisted and the anus and ctenidium directed laterally instead of anteriorly. Okay, but just understand that opposite, just a reversive process of torsion is said to be as a detorsion. Okay, fine. See, these are all the location of the structures before torsion and after torsion, after detorsion. Just listen to me. Initially, this was an inlet. Again, this was an inlet and this was an outlet. Or we can say this as an inlet and this too as an outlet. Okay, this will be a initial. Larva symmetrical, adult asymmetrical. We can say them as, no, we should not say larva or adult. We should say before torsion, the animal will be symmetrical. After torsion, the animal will be asymmetrical. Okay, before torsion and after torsion. Okay, see, in adult also torsion, somehow the digestive tract will be at the 180-degree only. Okay, it rotates the 180-degree. For some of their life cycle, it also symmetry and it also attains the asymmetrical nature during their unfavorable condition. So you should remember that before torsion and after torsion. Before torsion, the animal will be symmetrical. After torsion, the animal will be asymmetrical. See, before torsion, this is what a position. This is a shell, we know that, and this is the gill, we know that. And after torsion, see, everything will be here. Everything will be here, right? And after detorsion, see, compare before torsion and the detorsion. What you are finding the differences? Again, this will be here, this will be here, this will be here, and this will be here, and C will be here. And C will be here and the gills is present here. Now, see, again the C will be in facing this direction. This is what I'm saying. It is not necessary. Again, the same thing, same structure, same position, which is present before torsion. It can't be reversed exactly. That is what I'm saying. But anyhow, torsion, we can say that it is a reverse mechanism of detorsion is a process. It is a reverse mechanism of torsion. Okay, but see the difference between before torsion and the after detorsion. So you have to study this diagram also. Now, Fine. Formally, this condition we looked upon as an arrested stage in the torsion. But there is some reduction of paired parts of the pallial complex as in specialized strophoneura. Okay. See, initially it was in pairs, but after torsion, the same part which is present in the right side will change their position to the left side itself. Now both the pairs will be in their same location. That is what they have explained here in the strophoneura. Total detorsion shown by the typical opistobranchia, that is applies A. It is accompanied by the reduction of disappearance of the shell. Okay, see, total detorsion, which means what? Which is happening after the torsion, will not regain its complete structure. How the structure will be looking when the before torsion. Okay, that is what they are explaining here. Total detorsion shown by the opistobranchia is accompanied by the reduction of disappearance of the shell. In extreme cases, in the pterotracheae, the mantle and the visceral sac also disappear. The body elongates to become worm-like. Clear? The mantle cavity, visceral hump, external shell, even tenidia may be lost in case of nudibranchia. So what is the point I keep on stressing you by showing all these pointers? The same position will not be regained if even after the torsion. We know that before torsion is there, before torsion the body is symmetric. After torsion the body is no more symmetrical. Even after torsion. After torsion means what? Detorsion means reversal of torsion process. So you have to compare before torsion and the detorsion. Again, the same location will not be applicable there also. Clear? Again, just read this. The same thing will be repeating here also. If you have any doubts, means you can ask me, or we can we can move towards the pearl culture. Any doubts? Any doubts? Okay, fine. We'll move on to the pearl culture. Good. Pearl is also said to be as the moti. Okay, wait, let me see. Is there any questions? Okay, just answer for this question. Malacology is the study of. Malacology is the study of mollusca. Very good. Okay, malacology is the study of mollusca. Digestive gland in mollusca is. Yes, of course, it is mollusca. Digestive gland in mollusca is. Is it hepatopancreas? Wait. Oh, you were already read, right? Okay. Hepatopancreas. Conchology is the study of. Okay, very good. Appreciating you. Conchology is the study of. Conchology is the study of shell of mollusca. Very good. Pedal glands of mollusca consist of. Pedal glands of mollusca consist of. Labial gland, suprapedal gland, and soul gland. Okay, all the above will be the answer. Now, mode of respiration in case of mollusca. Mode of respiration in case of mollusca. Just tell me. What is cutaneous respiration? What is cutaneous respiration? Just tell me the meaning. What is cutaneous respiration? Very good. Respiration which is happening through the skin. That is said to be as the cutaneous respiration. The best example for cutaneous respiration is frog. Yes, the best example, those who perform this cutaneous respiration is frog. Okay, frog is again amphibians. Okay, so branchial is also there, pulmonary is also there, all the above. Okay, now effect of torsion. What will be the effect of torsion? What will be the effect of torsion? Very good. What will be the torsion? Displacement of mantle cavity will be there. Looping of alimentary canal will be there. Endogastric torsion. Everything will be there. So all the above will be answer. Okay. Hope you are getting the concepts very much clear. Right? Very good. Now, food items of Mediterranean country include. This is immaterial. Don't leave that. Now, okay. This is blood. Okay, blood of mollusca contain. Blood of mollusca contain which type of cells? RBC, WBC, and amoebocytes. Very good. The answer will be amoebocytes. These are all the pearl. Okay, let's come back to the pearl culture. Pearl is also said to be as moti. Okay, it is white in color, highly shining, and globular in shape. Okay, made by the clam. Clam is in mollusk. Clam mollusca. Okay, and that is called as an oyster within its shell. Pearls are prized as a gems right from the ancient times. And the pearls are the most beautiful and valuable for the jewels. Anyhow, they are going to um, involved in the ornaments only. Kokichi Mikimoto of Toba, Japan, is known as the father of pearl industry. You have to read this. Okay, this is a factual information. It is not that much important, but when we comes to read the pearl culture, we also know some of its history as well. Okay, that's why he discovered a method to induce a foreign particle between a mantle and the shell of the pearl oyster, and that stimulated the pearl formation. See why he is called as the father of pearl industry means he discovered that if we introduced some of the foreign particle between the mantle and the shell, between the mantle and the shell. See, consider this as a shell. Consider this as a mantle. If we introduce any foreign particle between this shell and the mantle, definitely this will induce the formation of pearl. Okay, shell of pearl or shell, they stimulated the pearl formation. This is what he discovered. That is why he is said to be as the father of pearl industry. Clear? So you have to know the pearl will be formed between mantle and the shell. That is the location where the pearl will be produced. Pearl formation or the pearl fisheries. We can say that like that. A pearl is a result of an injury to mollusca, but we are consider this pearl as a gem. Okay, we are consider this pearl as a very good cosmetic product. But what is exactly to this particular molluscan animal is this is as a result of the injury. Okay, if there is any injury to this mollusca, this is secreted by the mantle. Okay, this is secreted by the mantle as a means of protection against some foreign body. If we introduce any foreign particle, initially the mantle will synthesize or secrete some of the secretions, and that secretions will induce the formation of the pearl. That is why he discovered if we introduce artificially, but these are all happening naturally. But what he introduced, he discovered is, if we introduced anything artificially, that mantle will going to secrete, the mantle will sense this as a danger, and to prevent them from a danger, this mantle will secrete some of the secretions, and later this will be developed into a pearl. So we can harvest those pearls. Like that, he discovered. This is a mechanism. Now, whenever a foreign body, such as a particle of sand or a small parasite, see, a particle of sand or even a small parasite or a small animalcule or algae, even bit of shell, gets between the mantle and the shell. If we introduce all these things between the mantle and the shell, it becomes enclosed in a sac of mantle epithelium. What is it happening here? See, if we introduce anything between the mantle and the shell, this mantle epithelium will enclose those foreign particles. Thus, it becomes irritated. It causes some of the irritations. This irritation is the one stimulates this mantle epithelium to secrete the nacre. An important question. What it is going to secrete? A protein called a nacre. A nacre, thin concentric layers of mother pearls all around the foreign body. Consider this as a foreign body. The mantle cells will keep on secreting a layer which is called as a nacral layer. Okay, later that the amount of deposition is in direct proportion to the degree of rotation. With what is happening means, if we introduce a larger foreign particle, then the pearl will be larger, the irritation will be larger. If we introduce this a smaller particle, then the irritation will be smaller. It is not necessary whether it is small or large, the irritation will be larger. That is why it is indirectly proportional to the size of the foreign particle. Okay, even it is a sand, even it is a small parasite, the irritation will be there, and after several years the pearl will be formed as a result of that irritation. Clear? Clear or what? If you have to, if you want me to explain once again, just tell me. See, this will be the ciliated epithelium of mantle. What is it? Ciliated epithelium. Okay, now this will be the connective tissue. What is it? This will be the connective tissue. Now, this will be the shell. Okay, this will be the shell. Consider this as a shell, and these are all the mantle epithelium. Now, this will be the foreign particle. The foreign particle now has been entered between the shell and the mantle cavity. Now, what this mantle epithelium will sense this foreign particle as a danger. It secretes some of the secretion that is said to be as a nacre. And now they are going to form a multiple layers around the foreign particle. Now, this foreign particle is this. This is a foreign particle. It is covered by a many layer followed by a mantle epithelium. Now, this after several years, this pearl will be formed by the secretion around this foreign particle. This is how the pearl will be formed. Any doubts? Any doubts? Just tell me. Are you clear how the pearl will be formed? It is because of the secretion secreted by the mantle epithelium. Clear or what? Just tell me. Okay, good, fine. Now, pearl mollusk. Okay, it is often found in clams and edible oysters, but these are not nacreous and therefore they are of a little value. No. After formation of pearl, mantle tissue will not disappear. The mantle will regain, again, relocate their position. Okay, fine. See, this will undergo the pearl formation because of the secretions. If the cells sent all their contents which is present or it lost its importance, again this will also degenerate. If there is no functions performed by those particular epithelium, definitely it will undergo a degeneration. Now, See, most precious pearls are found in pearl oyster of the genus Pintacta. This is an important thing. So the precious pearls will be are found in the pearl oysters of the genus Pinctada. The important species of pearls are Pinctada vulgaris, Chemnitzi, Margaritifera, Anemoids, Arthropurpura, which is present in the Indian waters, and Pintagna vulgaris, which is closely allied to the freshwater mussel, and it is a commonly the common species distributed in Gulf of Kutch, Gulf of Mannar, and Park Bay and Barrows. Okay, this is the common species, Pintagna vulgaris. Okay, and what is artificial pearl? See, these are all. If the sand will be enter into this mantle cavity, or they are crossing the shell and reaching the mantle cavity, these are all natural. Okay, these are happening naturally. Okay, what does artificial pearl mean? Japanese have developed a technique of producing pearls artificially by inserting foreign bodies such as glass beads into the mantle of oysters. Again, this mantle, consider them as a thread, and they are going to this mantle epithelium will secrete the nacre, and again they are going to form a layer, different multiple layers within the around the foreign body, and after several years, again the pearl will be formed. Okay. Now the oysters retained in wire cages or craters until pearls are produced, which later removed and sold in markets. This was a Mikimoto's theory discovery. Okay, Mikimoto's discovery, which had made him a wealthy person. Okay, now, it takes about 3 to 4 years to produce a pearl of considerable size, but it large one takes a 7 years. Only after 7 years we can get a pearl to its extreme size, to its maximum size. If we harvest before between 3 to 4 years means it is only a medium size, that is considerable size. Now, cultured pearls or genuine pearls but are less valuable than the uncultured pearls, which has been identified the experts. See, whatever the discovery we humans will discover, we can't beat nature. Okay, that is what explaining here. We are culture the pearls or the genuine pearls, of course, but it is less valuable than the uncultured pearls. Now, imitation pearls are beads coated with an iridescent substance which is called as the pearl essence, that is obtained from the scale of fishes. This is also looks like a pearl, that substance which is taken from the scale of the fishes. We can use them as imitation of pearls, but we can't say that as an exact pearl. Okay, the best quality of the pearl is known as the linga pearl. Again, the question will be asked here. Linga pearl is a most best quality of the pearl. Okay, this is obtained from the marine oysters. Now, culture of oysters. These are all unnecessary points. This is just a story. Women divers in Japan are said to be as the girls of the sea, and from early morning till noon, they collect oysters from the bottom of the sea with the help of nets. And the collection of oysters is best done in 2 months of the summer season. Okay, only in this particular season, the oyster collection will be predominant. When the sea is calm and the water is nearer to the shore, just remember only when the sea is calm and the water is nearer to the shore. And the oysters are collected and stocked rearing in the rearing cages. Each cage will be divided into a small chamber and is covered with the metal mesh provided with the cotton netting. And again, the oysters will be cleaned before being placed in the culture cages for about 10 to 20 days. After they are processed for the artificial pearl formation. But these are all the mechanisms. Okay, fine. Now just tell me the best quality of the pearl is. What is it? The best quality of pearl is linga pearl. Pearl is said to be as the moti. Okay, so we can call them as a linga pearl or linga moti. Okay, now the only left part with respect to the spila mollusca is respiration. We are going to finish it by tomorrow. And I think echinodermata will also be finished tomorrow, sorry. After finishing this echinodermata, I'm going to conduct a non-core test. See, I want to tell you something. In the last exam, that is last DL exam, from non-core data, up to 14 to 15 questions will be there. Okay, 14 to 15 questions will be there. In that, you can easily answer 11 to 12 questions. If you read properly, if you read the PPT only, if you read only the PPT, you can answer all those 11 to 12 questions. I will show you when I discuss the non-core data test. By tomorrow, echinodermata will be completed. If not, we'll complete it by day after tomorrow. And day after tomorrow is the final test for you with respect to the non-core data. Okay, and any suggestions you want to develop in case of non-core data, just tell me now itself. Today Wednesday and tomorrow 8th, right? 9th Friday will be the non-core data test. Just note it. 9th, that is Friday morning, I'm going to conduct the non-core data test and just revise it. Just revise it, okay? See, just remember 14 to 15 questions are directly from our PPT. If you read the PPT, you can answer those 11 to 12 questions or 12 to 13 questions. But the question appear in the exam is 14 to 15 questions. Okay, fine. Okay. If you don't have any doubt means you can leave the class. Thank you. Tomorrow, same time. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.